A comedian on the verge of his big break has his career sidetracked and his life derailed by an episode that is hard to explain and perhaps too terrifying to explore. Two women, strangers until recently, meet as adults and find they share eerie memories of arranged childhood encounters. Something has brought them together before. Identical twin brothers become convinced their genetic anomaly is the object of otherworldly interest and experiments. None of these people know each other, yet they share a common bond. Something won't leave them alone. We know this changed our world, but did it stop there? Is it just coincidence that when we let the nuclear genie out of the bottle, a wave of sightings, lights, strange discs, and more began, and continues to this day? For every report that is explained away, 10 new ones appear. After 50 years, sightings have turned to contact, and worse. For those overtaken by it, there is no resisting, no escape, and no way to prevent it from happening again and again. It starts with a sighting and a slip in time.
My twin brother Jack and I and two of our friends went on a camping trip and canoe trip to Baxter State Park in northern Maine. The four of us decided to do some fishing out on the lake, so we piled into the canoe. After we made a great big bonfire so we'd be able to find our way back. We were out in the water just a few minutes, and Chuck saw this huge sphere of light.
Okay, I was heading to a show in Vermont, and I look out the window, and all of a sudden I see this thing. It looks like the Goodyear blimp. And these lights started flowing over it, and it's not a blimp.
Driving toward the farm about 5 miles away, I saw lights in the sky, pulled over and got out of the car to investigate. My next conscious memory was landing very hard in the vehicle on the road. I was going at least 60 miles an hour and I had no muscular control.
And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, oh my God, it really is an alien spacecraft and it's gonna crash and all those creatures on board are gonna die. And when I thought that, they put a thought in my head and they said, no, it's all right.
And we turned around, and this thing was right in front of us. So Charlie flashes it with a flashlight, and the minute he signals this thing, it starts moving towards us.
I dropped the flashlight, threw the blade of the paddle into the water, and I started paddling as hard as I could. I locked my vision on the fire.
And as we were going, Jack kept looking back, and he kept saying, it's gaining on us. And I remember thinking, well, this is it. We're not going to outrun this thing. That was the last thing that went through my mind before we found ourselves at the beach.
I came into the house very disturbed and discovered within a few minutes that my ears were bleeding, presumably because my earrings were in backwards. I also realized that I had an hour and a half or close to it of time that I could not account for.
It's 1:30 in the morning. It's 15 miles from where I started, and it's 3 hours later. So there's no way I drove the whole way at 5 miles an hour. I got a lot of missing time there.
When we went back to our campfire, all that was left was embers. When we thought about that, it was, well, how did the fire go out in that short a time? I mean, 45 minutes tops, maybe? It was just something we could never really explain. It was a mystery.
I thought I was having a nervous breakdown. I've thought that a lot of times.
I know something is going on, and I can't prove it to anybody. What do I do with that? Who do I tell? Nobody if I'm smart. So now I'm telling you.